started.
Red Rover. Let's see. I played a French and a Sicilian. Time for good old e4, e5. Played a Scandinavian too recently in a slow game. Oh, the famous King's Gambit. I have to play that. I have to accept that, given the chance. So I think this is the main line actually. Just playing g5 here to support the pawn, and if there's a slow move like h3, then you can even play h6, support the pawn this way, and then develop the knight to f6. Otherwise, knight to f6 leaves the pawn on g5 undefended. But here it looks like it's all okay. Then castle. So black has gotten to keep his extra pawn in this line. He doesn't always get to. White has got a lot of space here. Got a lot of space-grabbing pawn moves. And I don't want this pawn to make it all the way to e5. So I'm going to also opening up a line for my bishop. And then maybe just threaten to take this pawn. He could push on to e5 in these circumstances here, actually. So what should I do? I need to maybe worry about all of this space grabbing going on over here. Let's see. I could play d5. He would push. And knight e5, knight e4 doesn't look that great. If I play knight f6, he's going to push, and then where does the knight go? So maybe, and I could play c5, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, and it's kind of a counter sack, but it leaves him with doubled pawns over here, and his queenside pawn structure would be a mess. A lot of times it's a good idea to give back a pawn in these gambits, but finding the right time to do it is key, of course. The other idea I have is knight h5 to g3. Looks like an interesting maneuver, but on h5 it's subject to a discovered attack with the knight, so I have to be careful about that. Aha. How do I play it here, though? Seems like knight g6 is going to be uncomfortable for white. And then I can develop my other knight to f6. And I'm still leaving this pawn hanging here if he wants it. Okay, Red Rover is starting to think. I know I've played Red Rover recently. I don't know if the game got uploaded or not. Have to go back and look at what we were playing. Okay, so he decides to go for the pawn, at least one of them. Now we can just take back and win that pawn. But he chooses not to. So in this case, my idea was to play here first. Okay, just leave him cramped on the king side. I guess he's going to castle queenside or leave the king in the middle, perhaps. Now I can develop the bishop to f4, f5. That seems like a good idea. This is an undeveloped piece, and getting rid of one of his developed pieces. And the knight from f5 could even go into e3. Might even be a nicer square than g3. Aha. So he's not buying it. Not buying the bishop. So if I take the bishop and he takes the knight, I can take back with the pawn, and he's got the rook hanging. And that gives me time to save the bishop. So he has to take the bishop, right? Put his queen on a good square. Now, I could take the knight. I can't retreat. I could leave the knight there and let him take it. It gains a tempo. Okay, let's take that pawn and then develop this knight. So I'm not to pawn down. Before I develop the knight, though, maybe I should play queen to... Actually, the queen is loose there. I can take on e5, right? Bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, and then he can't take back. Because of the pin on the queen.
Check.
And now I'm invading. Now that knight looks pretty well posted there all of a sudden. You can't block the checks. The king has to move. It's just a question of which way to go, right or left. If he goes here onto the king side, I have rook. Yeah. Rook to e7, rook e2 check. We'll pick up the bishop at least. Or it's another way of trading the queen for rook and knight. So that means he can't go to that square or that square, which he went to. So I think he had to play king to d8 there.
Check.
Yeah, these gambit lines, like the king's gambit, are very double-edged, and it's not always the side that gambits that keeps the attack. Really, both sides have chances. So my knight's still not developed, but I am a piece up. So should be winning, and his king is not that great. His rook is not playing. So I just, get my knight out, get my rook in the game, and I should be able to put it away. Yes, there's this move, knight here with check. I don't think it accomplishes anything. So I think I'm just going to develop my knight. He's got his pieces huddled around his king in a defensive formation. Okay, so knight here attacks the queen. Once again, he's not really threatening to take my knight, because his queen is hanging. But, you know what I like? I like this queen b6 check. I always look for the checks. How is he going to block that? Yeah. This
check.
Is winning, because the king has no moves, and he has no good way to block the check because the pawn is covering this square. Well, knight there, pawn takes. I mean, it leaves my knight loose, but
White resigns.
Yeah, I was definitely winning. Okay, well, that was a nice game. I'm gonna upload this and do a postmortem as usual. See you guys later. Bye.